Hello, my name's Laurel Papworth. I'm a Metaverse mentor and emergent tech advocate, and I'm going to talk to you today about ANZ Bank, that's Australia, with Worldline Merchant Facility Services Europe, I think they are, or EMEA, and the work that they've done with Naked Life non-alcoholic spirits, an Australian non-alcoholic brand, in the metaverse. So Naked Life has taken out some advertising space within the ANZ Worldline lands within Decentraland. Decentraland's the world, and then they've rented or sold space to ANZ. I'll just put this up on the screen, but ANZ Worldline Payment Solutions CEO for Australia and New Zealand, Peter Reisker, said that the key functions include an exclusive merchant of the month. That's for their land. So they choose like an employee of the month, but it's a merchant of the month, featuring interactive billboards and product displays. And there are also interactive chatbots that visitors can chat with via their avatars, an event space including a virtual stage to host presentations and events and things like that, and a dedicated space for supporting charity projects. So it's an interesting mashup. The billboard thing doesn't do it for me, because I remember in Second Life wandering around seeing billboards and like, oh really? That's as creative as we can get. But the stage sounds good, whether it's actually for product demonstrations or to run a virtual concert or virtual event. It's also, I think, really powerful and very telling that merchant facilities, whether it's Amazon Payments, who also have a space, and Worldline and others, are trying to do that. If you can solve the problem once, you can, for one person, you can solve it for everyone. In the same way that seems to be Shopify's driver, that if they can provide a payment solution once, then they can provide it to hundreds of thousands or millions of businesses as well, making it so much easier. And small to medium-sized businesses and small charity projects, they mentioned charities, will rush into the metaverse. If there's templates, I want my shop to be pink and blue and placed there, just put it up for me. And really, that is the Shopify model, because that's how you quickly set up a shop online. Or it's the WordPress model, where I can set up a WordPress website so quickly, so easily. And in a sense, also the Facebook business page model, where I can quickly set up a Facebook business page and start running ads within minutes. Actually, probably hours if it's your first time, but definitely minutes if you've done it a few hundred times before. I would like to talk quickly about writing a metaverse strategy, because while I'm all for getting in the space and playing, by the time you want to put your brand on the line, you need a strategy. So for my metaverse strategies, the first two steps are interchangeable, and it depends on who I'm working with. Strategies, if you haven't been through big strategies before, so it's all the questions. Why are we doing this? And you can do hows, but they've got to be really, really high level. So how are we going to initiate this? Who are we talking to? When, some sort of timeline. When are we going to be at? Where? What specific virtual spaces are we going to be in? They're the sort of big picture questions that get big picture answers, and then off of that hang your rollout strategy, your campaign strategies, your content calendars, story calendars, things like that. So the first two questions in a metaverse strategy. The first one is, who are we speaking to? And when I look at billboards in a space, a virtual space, and there's avatars wandering around, I have to ask myself, who are the people that will come here and look at these billboards and won't just rush past them? When you land in Second Life and you see the billboards, you tend to rush straight past them. Who are they? And not generic who's, like everyone in Australia. That's not a who. That's not a target audience. You want to get down into the psychographic. I want cashed up teenagers that live in urban areas that have a phone and a laptop and a PlayStation and blah, blah, and an Oculus headset and this and that. They're my target teenagers. I want to talk to small businesses within rural areas that are trying to reach urban, maybe kids with Oculus headsets, whatever. I want to talk to grandparents, but not all grandparents. I want to talk to the grandparents who are who have disposable income, who go off and do courses and do studies and fill their time with interesting activities that their friends think they're a bit crazy about, whatever it is. But find your psychographics and define them, because it's going to be much easier to put products and services and campaigns and all kinds of things in front of them if you can actually say, that person there is my target audience, that person there is not. The second option, which sometimes gets switched around, is to go with the why. So move the why instead of the who. I prefer to start with who because I think whys are easier, but why would this person want to engage with me? And there are 4 whys. That's just one. The first 2 whys are based on purpose. And one is, why would that teenager want to come into this space and look at these things? What is the driver for them to do that? And don't assume that your products and services are so brilliant and that they know about them in order to come and look at them. Also, why are you there? There's no point you being in the space if you don't know why you're there or why you want to connect to that audience. If they don't have disposable income, why are you talking to them? In the sense of if it's a luxury brand or something like that, NFTs. The other 2 sets of whys go right into the heart of marketing and communications, which is, why do they feel the way they feel? So the other one is thinking, this one's feeling. We're moving between the thinking plane and the feeling plane. And feeling has to do with values. So if you look at football, I probably shouldn't pick football. I don't follow football. But why do people go to football games? I always split them into 2 sets of reasons. One is feeling, one is thinking. So the thinking one is to support my team, to see the game, a few things like that. The feeling ones have almost nothing to do with the game whatsoever. Or I hardly drink anymore, but I'd like to go out and have a beer with some mates. The game looks like just as good a reason as anything else. There's also, I want to get away from the wife and the kids. Or I want to take the wife and the kids out with me for the day. Yay. I guess alongside the beer could be, I want to have a hot dog. Do they sell hot dogs at football games? I don't know. I want to feel connected in a way that's not work with humanity. And then alongside that is, going to a football game puts me in the moment, in the now, in the present, which allows me to push out of my head all my concerns about paying the mortgage and bills, about how annoying my boss is, or whatever other issues they have going on in their life. It's, how long's a game? An hour? I don't know, an hour or so of escapism. So by mapping out 4 purpose and 4 values, companies also do the same thing. So it's not, there's an upfront purpose and then there's a hidden purpose for why the organization is there. And it could be something as simple as, in that feeling realm, I have to tick a box which says we're doing something cutting edge and interesting and emergent tech and metaversey and all that kind of stuff. So when you're an agency or if you're a consultant and you're working with clients, you're actually trying to suss out those little hidden whys, the little value-based whys versus the pure purpose whys. We want to be there to connect with customers, is business purpose. We have to be seen as being modern or not vulnerable to new tech. Could be the feeling why. I feel like I'm making a mess of this. But anyway, and then as you work through your strategy, those 2, everything hinges off of those. So every question you have to answer after that, where should we be? Like which world? How should we present ourselves in the world? Then you would look back to your audience and you would look back to the whys. And remember, the whys are different for each demographic. Retirees have a different reason for being there than the cool kids do. Although I think retirees are pretty cool too. I think that's all I want to say. Oh, I did see some, I'm not going to put it up on the screen because I don't want to criticize anybody, but I have seen some murmurings and articles about gamification is not important in the metaverse. People just want to go in there to hang out. That's naive to a very large extent. And just to give you an idea, although I personally go into virtual worlds just to hang out, the hook that got me in there was either the story, the education, or the gamification. So when somebody says you don't need gamification, ask them what else are they bringing to the table. Because for some of the worlds I've been in for 20 years, 17 years, something like that. Yes, I joined for the game, for the story, for the education, for different things. And then I stayed for the people. So now I don't mind hopping into the world and just chatting with people for an hour and then hopping out again. It's just a place for me to collect and connect with them. To be honest, I could just do it on Discord. It doesn't have to be in a world. But I would say, well, if you don't want tumbleweed blowing through your world, find those hooks. So if people do get bored or they're waiting for someone, that there is something else for them to do there. And for me, those three things are story, not content, story, actually following a storyline, gamification, getting all the badges and the points and the coins and anything else, and then education. And education can be inspirational. It doesn't have to be lessons and courses and things like that. That's my 2 cents worth, and now I've spent it. So good on Naked Life for their move into the metaverse. Big support. I personally am a big supporter of non-alcoholic beverages. If anybody wants to buy me one of their non-alcoholic grapefruit gin and tonics, very happy for you to do that. And I don't know what it would taste like, but I do like citrusy drinks, like margaritas. Anyway, that's it. That's all from me. And I will see you in the next news briefing in a couple of days. Thank you.